Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hello and welcome to Rahman Digital Production. This is lecture number 18 of Physics 5054. In the last lecture, we started the concept of balanced and unbalanced forces. We talked about the balanced forces and we said that if there is no resultant force acting on an object, it will either remain stationary or will move with a constant velocity, and that was the verdict of Newton's first law as well. In today's lecture, we will talk about the unbalanced forces, which is the last topic of this unit. Then we will turn our focus to the exercise. But before that, let me explain that if there is a resultant force acting on a body, then there will be acceleration, and that is according to the Newton's second law. The Newton's second law is saying that if there is a resultant force acting on a body, it will produce acceleration in the direction of the force. Let us elaborate this concept with the help of example. There is a trolley which is dragged by a person through a string in which there is T tension. T is also a force. On the wheels of this trolley, there is a friction force which is opposite to the motion of the trolley. So the trolley will move in the right direction if tension is greater than F. So it means when there is equality, for example, if we are saying T is equal to F, it means that there is no resultant force acting on this trolley and the trolley will remain stationary. But if T is greater than the F, then it means there will be an acceleration, and that acceleration in this particular case will be towards the right. Now, in the second example, there is a car moving on the road. The tires provide the forward force. There is a air resistance. F means resultant force. Resultant force. Small f means fraction, and Fr means air resistance. As you can see that forward motion will only occurs when F is greater than combinedly the effect of F plus Fr, which is force of resistance and force of friction. If F is greater than the combined effect of friction and air resistance, then this car will move towards the right. If this F is smaller than the combined effect of F plus Fr, then it means that it will not move. So in this case, the car will move in right direction because F is greater than F plus Fr. So it means there will be a resistance force acting on this body, on this car, and the car will accelerate towards the right because greater force is acting on this in this direction, so it will, the force must have to overcome the force of friction and the force of air resistance, otherwise the car won't be able to move. That was the whole story about this uh, unit. Now we are turning our focus to the exercise, and first one is saying that uh, there are multiple choice question exercise, and they are saying exercise 3. Let us do these exercises. Now question number 1 is saying, ladies and gentlemen, listen the question if you are not having the book. The first part is saying 4 options are given and one option is the correct. We have to choose the correct option. Ladies and gentlemen, the question is saying when a force is applied on an object, several effects are possible. Which of the following effects cannot occur? Simply, if I am applying a force, then can the pressure on the object increases? Yes, the pressure on the object increases if I am applying a force on an object, for example, on this. So it means pressure will increase. This can occur. This is not the answer. The second option is saying the object rotates. Yes, if I am putting force on one side, so it will rotate. Yes, this can also occur. The third one is saying the mass of the object decreases. No, never. The mass will remain constant. The Newton's second law is also saying F is directly proportional to acceleration while the mass remains constant. So if force is applied, mass cannot be reduced. So this is the option C number. The fourth number is saying the object speeds up. Yes, if we are applying the force, so the object speeds up. So this is also not the answer. So the answer in this case is C number option. I am writing the C number option, that cannot occur, and the answer is the mass of the object decreases. The mass of the object decreases. Yes, this is the option. All other scenarios are saying that they can occur, but this one is not. Which of the following is a vector quantity? We talked about the vector quantities in greater detail. So they given us 4 options, and which one is the first option is A, which is time. No, time is not a vector quantity. The second option is saying energy. Energy also doesn't have direction, so it means that it is also not. The third option, velocity. Yes, we talked about the velocity, that velocity is having magnitude as well as direction. The D option is temperature. Temperature is also scalar quantity, not vector quantity. So in this case, C is the option, and the option is velocity. Yes, velocity is a vector quantity. Now, part number 3, given us a diagram. Question number 3 has given us a diagram in which there is a block of wood on which there are two forces acting in the right direction and two forces are acting in the left direction, and we have to find the resultant force. The forces are given as 4 Newton. This is 4 Newton force, and this is 7 Newton force. And this is 3 Newton. And there is another force of 2 Newton. This is 2 Newton force. So The question is saying the diagram shows four forces acting on a block. What is the resultant force? The A option is saying 0. No. We have to add these. This the total force acting on the left side is 5 Newton, and these are the forces 11 Newton which are acting on the right side. So resultant force will be equal to 11 minus 5 Newton. So this will be 6 Newton, and the motion will be, because on this side there is a greater force acting on this block of wood. So it means the block will move in the right direction. So the option number 6 Newton to the right, C option is the correct. 6 Newton to the right. 6 Newton to the right. Okay, question number 4 is saying when a resultant force acting on when a resultant force of 6 Newton. So here given data is F is equal to 6.0 Newton, and then and 7 Newton is applied to a mass of 3 kilogram. M is equal to 3.0 kilogram. Then the question is saying that the acceleration of the mass will be. So we have to find the acceleration, and the solution is according to Newton second law of motion. F is equal to ma. So we are going to find A. We will leave A on one side, and then we have to divide force by mass. Force is also given, which is 6.0, and mass is also given 3.0 kg, which is equal to 2 meter per second square, because it is acceleration and the unit of acceleration is meter per second square. Uh, Ladies and gentlemen, next question is given is the section B, which is structure question. So in this case, B option is the correct. B option is the correct answer. Okay, now we are turning our focus to section B, which are structured question. Section B. Okay, there is question number 1, and A part is saying that what is the difference between a scalar quantity and a vector quantity? Give an example of each. Ladies and gentlemen, we discussed this topic in greater detail. If you want to see more detail of this topic, the difference between scalars and vector, then go to my previous video. Here I am repeating it, and repeating it like what is scalar quantity. Those physical quantities which can be fully uh, uh, explained by the, or in other words, I can say that scalar quantities are those quantities, physical quantities, which can be completely specified by its magnitude. Mass is the example of scalar quantity. What is vector quantity? Those physical quantities which are completely specified by its magnitude as well as direction and a proper unit as well. Velocity is the example because they told us to give one example. So velocity is the example of this. Okay, number B part, it is given that there are two forces acting on this. The angle is given as 50 degree. One force is 4 Newton. This force is 4 Newton. And the other force is 7 Newton. This one is given as 7 Newton. And they are making an angle 50 degree. Determine the magnitude and direction of the resultant force on the body B by means of a scale diagram. Ladies and gentlemen, I cannot draw a scale diagram here, but I am telling you the way that you have to draw a line of the length this much, and then you have to draw parallel line to this much, and then you have to draw a representative line from this is B force, and that is the this is the B part. So when you measure, I did it practically. When you measure it, this line, which is the resultant force, that will be 10 centimeters. So we are saying 10 Newton. And the direction will be this, and it will be 18 degree with 18 degree. So this is the answer. Another way you can do this is, because this is first vector and you have to draw this vector and contain it with the uh, head of the first vector. This is 7 Newton and that is 4 Newton. The magnitude and the direction must be the same. Then you have to draw a representative line from the tail of the first vector till the end of the last vector. So when you measure this, this will be 10 Newton and this will make an angle of 18 degree. You can draw this to a scale. Ladies and gentlemen, now C part, they given us, in the C part, they given us a table in which there are three quantities, but all the three quantities are not given at the same time. Two of them are given and you have to find the third one. The first quantity is mass and the second quantity is force and the third one is acceleration. Seeing these three quantities at the same time, one formula is coming to the mind, and that is Newton's second law, which is equal to F is equal to ma. So when in the first case they given 8 kilogram mass and 80 Newton force, 80 Newton force, and we have to find the acceleration. So to find the acceleration, we have to write F and then M. and F is given as 80 and N is given as 8, at 1s are 8, at 10s are 80. So 10 Newton is the answer in first case. I am writing this with the red, and that is 10 Newton because we found it. In the second case, you have to find the mass. This is an empty place. 200 Newton is given as the force, and the acceleration is given as 2 meter per second square. Now, we can find the mass by this formula as how we can find this as M is equal to F divided by A. F divided by A. So F is given as 200 and the A is given as 2. So it means there will be 100 kilogram of mass. So in the second case, you can find it like this. Here it is given 2 gram and we have to find the force, and here it is given as 10 centimeter per 10 centimeter per second square. Now we can find, if we want to convert this gram to kilogram, because the standard unit of mass is kilogram. So we have to find this, or we can do it right like this. So F is equal to MA, and when this F is equal to MA, we can write 2 multiplied by 10. So it means you have to write the answer like this: 2 gram centimeter per second square. 20 is the answer. But if you want to convert this to, so you have to divide 2 by 1000 by introducing kilogram. So it will be equal to 0.00 2 kilogram. Similarly, if we want to convert this centimeter, they given us centimeter per, and we want to multiply it. So 10 centimeter we have to write instead of this 10 100. So 10 centimeter when divided by 100, so 10 divided by 100 meter per second square. So it means that this will be equal to 0.10. Now in that case, you have to write 0.001 multiplied by 0.10, and whatever the answer is coming, you can write that as Newton. So this is also the answer, and if you want to find it in kilogram per meter, kilogram meter per second square, which is equal to Newton, then you have to change these values. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to erase the board, the whiteboard, so wait for only 1 second. Thank you for 1 second wait. Let us move our focus to question number 2, and that is part number A. It is saying name the SI unit of force. Ladies and gentlemen, you have to give a closer look to the question. They are saying only name it, but if the question was asking that define it. So then you had to define it. But in this particular case, name the SI unit, and that is Newton. That is the Newton. And also kilogram meter per second square is the SI unit of this force. Okay, that's it. B number part is saying that discuss the three characteristic effects of a force. So I have to write characteristics of force. Now we have to write three of them. Number one characteristic of the force is force can produce acceleration or deceleration. If a body is at rest and you are applying a force, it means that it will produce acceleration. But if a body is moving and you are applying a force, you can decelerate that as well. So this is the first characteristic of force. The second characteristic of force is force can D-shape an object. Yes, if you are applying a force on an object, then the shape of that will be changed. For example, if I am having a mud ball with me and I am applying a force on it either this way or in this way, the shape will be changed. It will change the shape of an object. Now, the third characteristic of this force will be that force is also used to, actually this question we solved it in the part number A, in which there were different. So force can increase the pressure on an object. The force can increase a pressure on an object. Another one you can say, they asked about the three. We did according to the question. Whatever being asked in the question, you have to respond in that way. Otherwise, it will give you no credit. For example, they want you to write three characteristics and you are writing five characteristics. Then they will think that you not answered according to the given condition. For example, if somebody is asking you to bring me a glass of water and you are bringing along with the water the food as well, the bread as well, so you are not dealing that situation in proper way. In this case they ask, but I am for your knowledge, I am saying that the fourth one is that it can rotate the body as well. When we are applying a force on an object, so it can rotate the object as well. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the C part is a bit longer one, and I want to stop it here. You do practice on these things, and tomorrow I will do the C part. In C part, there are two sub part, so I will do that. That's it for today. Have a nice time. Share my video with your friends and family members. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe it and press the bell icon. Thank you very much. Allah Hafiz.